All right, today we're going to have a little discussion about the cheek line, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back to my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel. One beard, a couple of banjos. I got a couple more, don't tell my wife. Anyhow, today I wanted to talk about the cheek line, a couple of items for you to think about. Also, maybe where we see some guys making some mistakes, and maybe why they're making the mistakes. I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. So for me, my cheek line is pretty natural. It kind of comes down. If I let it grow, it will grow up here. I'll have some growth you could see if you get close enough. So I do kind of trim that. I don't try to make it a super sharp line, and I also try not to go too low. The main reason is if you go too low, then you're going to have to, every day or every other day, you're going to have to give it more attention than you want, because one of the great things about a beard is you don't have to shave. At least you shouldn't be shaving all the time. But what I do, usually on a daily basis or every other day, I do have a little safety razor there, and I can kind of hit that without using any shaving cream, just hit it dry before I jump in the shower. I also have electric razor. I used electric razors for years. I can kind of hit it right there because electric razors have little holes in them, and if the end of my hair is down here, there's no way it's going to really cut into my beard, so I just kind of knock that off. And then every 3 to 4 weeks or so, when I get a haircut, I'll kind of do a beard shape up, and if I need to make my line a little bit more defined, then that's what I do. For me, I like having a shape that matches the under part of your beard. So if you have that kind of rounded, it kind of makes sense to have this a little bit more rounded. I don't want to dip down too far, because like I said, I'll have to shave all the time, or it'll start to look unnatural. You do have some options. If you want the squared effect, I can pull this back here, you can see it looks a little more squared off, then I could come down here a little bit farther and have a little bit more of a defined squared off shape to my cheek line. So you can really accentuate what you've got going on the bottom of your beard with your overall beard shape by shaping your cheek line a couple different ways. And if you mess up and go too low, you can go and kind of reestablish that. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks. You kind of take 1 week where you just don't do anything at all, and then you kind of redefine your higher cheek line and wait another couple weeks, and then you can start kind of blending things in, tapering it, if you will, and it'll kind of get everything reestablished. There are kind of systems out there. You can draw on there with an eyeliner pencil, or there's plastic guards that kind of help shape that. I just kind of eyeball it. I do have one side where that grows different. One side's a little bit thicker, but the other side, one part will be higher and the other part will be lower, so you do kind of have to pay attention to those things. Your face is not symmetrical most of the time, and neither is your beard growth. The next thing I wanted to talk about is some of the mistakes you see people make, and one of them is going down too far. Why do they do that? I started thinking about that. I think one reason, in one of my other videos, we talked about the chubby cheeks. So if it's coming straight out, it might look like it's, you get the chubby cheek syndrome. So you go, oh, that doesn't look good. It sticks out too much. So then you just kind of cut it off. Same thing if you're letting all of the hair grow at one length and it looks a little bit funny. There's a picture of Nicolas Cage where he has a beard and this is all coming from right here and it's all the same length, and it doesn't really look that good to me. So one thing you can do on that is guys aren't really taking advantage of tapering stuff. So instead of knocking your line way down and having your growth start here and kind of getting rid of the puffiness that way, is you can taper. Right, so you can take your guards and your comb and whatever and knock some of the hair here, make it shorter, and then you've got the length will come from a little bit further down. All right, so maybe we'll get into that a little bit more in a future video on doing some tapering. But those are a few things that I've seen, kind of mistakes, and maybe think about why those mistakes are happening is because there's some reason they're putting the cheek line where they're at. They think something else looks bad, or they think it looks better that way. So if you think it looks better down there, that's fine. But you do want to kind of think about what might be a better option. So tapering what you've got there, keeping your line a little bit higher so you don't have to shave your cheeks all the time. It doesn't have to be one continuous line. You can kind of see if you get close enough, I do have some hair there, but it doesn't connect. It's okay if it doesn't connect. All right, most guys, it doesn't connect right to the top of their mustache. So one option is try to get it to the top of your mustache. The next option is to try to get it to your the corner of your mouth. Okay, if I did that, I would have a little bit more of a solid line, but then I'd have to start addressing this stuff a little bit more on a daily basis and getting out the shaving cream and the razor and kind of doing more maintenance on a daily basis. I kind of like doing my maintenance every 3 weeks or so instead of having to deal with it all the time. Anyway, a little food for thought for you, especially as we've got growing season coming up, if you will. We got No Shave November coming up, and you'll have to start thinking about those things. I've got another video which I call Early Decisions, and that one would be a good one to look at if you're starting to grow for the first time and you're trying to grow past the stubble and trying to grow past the kind of professional short beard on start to tapering and how to do some lines and that kind of stuff. So take a look at that if you want. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.